everybody. We're about 10 minutes from getting started. I hope everybody's doing well. We'll get started here in just a little bit. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Hey, everybody. We're about 10 minutes from getting started. I hope everybody's doing well. We'll get started here in just a little bit. Thanks, everybody, for being here. All right, here we go. It's that time. Day three. Good to see everybody here again today. Let me get the camera on over here. Ta-da! All right. Big breath, big breath, big breath. Day three. This is the halfway point. This is the halfway point. We're halfway through the 5-day purpose code challenge of understanding our DMP, getting our DMP, getting to understand why we struggle with our DMP, getting this frequency, this frustration, this aggravation, this agitation out of the way so that we can maybe for 2026, maybe possibly create that year that we've just been dreaming of. We know that it's just right there. It's as close as your skin. Today, we're going to go into a whole nother level. We're going to shift another gear into the conversation. So let me officially welcome you back. Yesterday, we did something that people avoid. People avoid it with the plague. They avoid it at events. They avoid it in confrontation. They avoid it. They just simply avoid it. We spoke of desire without apology. We spoke of desire without apology. And I just drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay. I just want to make sure that audio is coming through. I forgot to check that a little bit earlier. But hey, that's just me. Okay, good. Let's get this out of here. Okay, good. Good. So here's what happened. When we spoke yesterday about your nervous system and how fear is wired into your cells, and fear doesn't show up and say, "Hi, I'm fear." It says, let's delay for just a second. Let's just delay for just a second. It's all about how you see you. And yesterday we talked about desire and how fear keeps us from desire, right? Today we're going to talk about fear's frequency. We gave our nervous system a signal yesterday. And we normally have been wired to say, I want this. I'm willing to lead myself there. The challenge is that more often than not, our past will overwrite us. Our past will overwrite the signal that we truly wanted, the consciousness that we had. It winds up with, this is why I study neuroencoding. We have thoughts that triggers things in our bodies. And see, fear lives in your body. Fear doesn't live out there. Fear is not out there. I can promise you, the dark night is not afraid of itself. I can promise you, the noise that went, that squeaky noise is not afraid of itself. Think about that for just a second. We make it fear, right? When you set your goal and you avoid it, it is fear. False evidence appearing real. So here's the reality. Today, we're going to move forward. Today, we're going to have a conversation about taking clarity to another level. See, clarity doesn't exist in a vacuum. The moment you gain clarity, your subconscious fires off an alert. It triggers the amygdala. And as soon as the amygdala gets triggered, it shuts down 25% of your cognitive ability. So, and it does this. Why does the brain do this? Because the brain looks for 2 things. What are the 2 things? Somebody want to type it in the chat? What are the 2 things the brain looks for? Type it in the chat. The brain looks for 2 things, 2 primary things. 1, yep, will this kill me? And 2, how fast can I recognize a pattern? Will this kill me? And what will kill you? What does your body, what does your brain fear? So what could kill you? Just think about this for just a second. Just think about this for just a second. What could kill you? I'm being metaphorical. I'm not sure if I know the word. I'm being hypothetical. If where you're at right now, I want you to pay attention to this. This is how the brain works. Listen carefully. This is going to be a big aha if I can do a good enough job getting it across. The biggest change, the biggest thing that could hurt you is what? Change. Anything that changes, right? If a leg on the chair that you're sitting in broke, that's a change. Yes? If, God forbid, yesterday, I like to talk about things that can't happen. If a tree fell through your roof yesterday, it could kill you. That's change. Do you see what happens? This thing that anything in our life changes is a potential threat. So you need to write this down. Change is a threat. Transformation is not. Change is a threat. So the reason the brain throws up this hesitation. Hi, I'm fear. No, let's be realistic. That's how fear introduces itself. Fear doesn't go, hey, hi, I'm fear. Nice to meet you. No, it shows up and says, well, let's take some time about this. Let's think about this. That's how fear shows up. Fear doesn't show up and go, hi, I'm fear. Nice to meet you, Sean. Fear shows up and says, there was something over here we were looking at. Fear shows up with distraction. Fear shows up with a variety of things. It never shows up and says, hi, I'm fear. Because if you said that, if fear showed up and said, hi, I'm fear, I come with your goal, you'd be like, I didn't write you into my goal. I didn't write you into my goal. Get it? So this isn't about sabotage. We say, oh, I sabotage myself. It's not about sabotage. It's about survival. I've not sabotaged myself. I've been in survival. Write that down. I've not sabotaged myself. I've been in survival. See, if you sabotaged yourself, you'd get really mad. Yet if you're in survival, it's okay. I'm struggling. I'm pushing through. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm going to struggle. I'm going to, oof. See, the signal sounds like hesitation, sounds like confusion, sounds like logic. Yet it's not logic. But it's not logic. You know how I don't like to use the word but because it negates everything beforehand. This sabotage that you're having around fear isn't sabotage, it's survival. And it's not, and it seems like it's logic, but it's not. It's not logic. It's fear in disguise. See, we tell ourselves, well, I'm hesitating. It's a little confusion. It's not logical. That's fear in disguise. And today we confront it. Not as the enemy, not as the enemy. Listen carefully. This is where the shift is. Take a big breath. We're going to confront fear, not as the enemy, as a map. What? As a map. We're going to use fear as your map. Write that down. Fear equals my map. You made a declaration yesterday. Today we're going to make it real. Yesterday you talked about desire without apology. Without a single apology. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be good if you could keep having that conversation? So let's strip away the myth. Fear as frequency. Let's strip away the myth. Fear is frequency. The myth, we're going to strip it away. Fear is not a mindset. Fear is not a mindset issue. Write that down. Fear is not a mindset issue. Fear is lack of motivation. Snap. See, fear only exists when you stop. Don't stop. When you don't stop, you're doing something. You can't be fearful when you don't stop. You may have a little anxiety, you may have a little angst, but when you're doing something, when you're in action, when you're in movement, when you're moving towards your goal, when you're on your path, fear is not a mindset issue because you are smarter than the average bear. You have control over your thoughts. Fear is not a mindset issue. It is lack of motivation. That's why Jim Rohn says, we don't want to motivate an idiot. What do you get? A motivated idiot. We want to create inspiration. Fear, listen, we're going to talk a lot about it. You're going to be so comfortable talking about fear. Fear is an encoded safety pattern. How is it, listen carefully, how is it if somebody is going to spill some water on you? How is it that your body knows to move? If something is hot, how do you know to pull away? You follow me? If something is falling, how do you know to protect your head? How do you know to protect something? How do you know to duck? Type it in the chat. Where is this at? Where is this at? Where is this reaction stored? It's not stored in your mind. It's not stored. It's stored in your memory. And where does it trigger it to? Where does fear, listen carefully, where does fear take action? Follow me. In you, where does fear take action? In your body. That's why you get scared. That's why adrenaline kicks in. That's why you have the fight, flight, or freeze method, right? It's in your body. It's not just in your mind. It's in your body. Fear is an encoded safety pattern. Write it down. Fear is an encoded safety pattern held in your nervous system. Fear is an encoded safety pattern held in your nervous system. Before your mind had a chance to realize, how did you know not to crawl off the step when you were a baby? How did you know that? You didn't know that was a step. You didn't call that, ooh, baby afraid of step. No. Now, you didn't know it. Maybe you did crawl off it. Babies did walk off it because there was no fear in base. How did you learn that? Why weren't you afraid of the step? Oh, step, baby afraid. No, fall down. Now baby afraid. I get hurt, baby afraid. Stick a fork in a light socket. You only do that once. Before your mind had a chance to rationalize it, your body had already made a decision. Back to Joseph Ledoux, his work on conditioning proved this. Fear reactions occur before cognitive awareness. Fear reactions occur before cognitive awareness. What does that mean? Translation. You're not overreacting, you're over remembering. My fear of success is my over remembering of my failures. Why do you think I ask you to produce an evidence file? This is making sense. Drop a B in the chat whenever you hear bonus in your mind. You're not overreacting, you're over remembering. When you declared your purpose yesterday, your system filled with filled it with unfamiliar. When you declared your purpose yesterday, it got filled in underneath there with unfamiliar. Your purpose, unfamiliar. My purpose, unfamiliar. What's your purpose? Can you spout it out today? Can you sing it from the rafters? Could I wake you up in the middle of the night and say, what's your purpose? I can promise you it's unfamiliar. And if unfamiliar is there, your body's seeking for familiar. And what's familiar? Lack of purpose. It's why autosuggestion is so important. See, the unfamiliar, when something is unfamiliar to the nervous system, it's what? What is it? Unfamiliar, write this down. Unfamiliar equals unsafe. That's why today it isn't about eliminating fear. It's about retraining your relationship with fear. If you're afraid of snakes, I can make you unafraid of snakes. If you're afraid of dogs, I can make you unafraid of dogs. If you're afraid of success, I can make you unafraid of success. It ain't no different, Skippy. Today's not about eliminating fear. Oh, I just wish I was fearless. No, I wish I feared less, but I don't want to be fearless. I want to fear less. It's not about getting rid of all the fear. It's about retraining your relationship with it. You don't need to conquer fear. You need to translate it. Nugget. I translate fear. Write that down. Say it. I translate fear. Decision is divine, right? Remember that yesterday? Decision is divine. Wanting is, I just had it. Wanting is evolving. I translate fear. Write that down. I translate fear. We don't bypass fear here. We build emotional fluency. Emotional fluency. This isn't about getting rid of fear. It's about emotional fluency. Right? I translate fear. I am a fear translator. Today, I want to show you what, we'll teach you when, and we'll explain why. Today, I'm going to show you what. I'll teach you when. I'll explain why your fear signal, why your fear is a signal and not a stop sign. The how to do it, that's what the mastermind is for. Listen, I'm just telling you right up front. You want to learn how to do all of this? That's part of the mastermind. Decide you've had enough. Decide you're going to take it to the next level. Decide you're going to make the commitment to yourself to step up in 2026, and let's be part of the mastermind. All right, so part one, peak one, language of fear. Fear never says, hi, I'm fear. It says, let's be realistic. Puts its arm around you and says, hey, let's wait for things to get better. How many of us have ever been objected, right? People gave us an objection of, I'm just so busy. Let's wait till things get better. I'm going through some things right now, and let's wait till things get better. See, that's fear, ladies and gentlemen. That's fear. That's fear. That's fear. That's fear. How's my volume, everybody? Somebody's asking me to turn up the volume. Maybe it's on their side. Do I need to crank up the volume a little bit? I'm not sure how. Okay, everyone else is saying it's good. Just fine. Just fine. Just fine. Awesome. So, Jane, I'm not sure. Maybe you can find the volume button or something. I'm not sure where that's at. So. Fear never says, I'm fear. It says, let's be realistic. Let's wait till things get better. Here's what you must understand. Here's what you must understand. Fear has a language, and it's fluent. You know what language, when we talk about language, when we talk about fear, there's certain dialects, there's certain colloquialisms when you learn a language. Fear is fluent. Fear is fluent. Write this. Fear is fluent in logic and delay. Fear speaks logic and delay. I'm not sure what I can tell you, Jane. Everybody else seems can be hearing me fine. So maybe you got to sit closer to it or get earphones maybe. So fear speaks logic and delay. And when you start moving towards your DMP, fear doesn't scream. Write this down. Fear doesn't scream. Wait for it. It advises. How many of you would like to have an advisor guiding you, right? A mentor. Do you realize that fear is your mentor? Listen carefully. What are my 3 definitions of coaches, teachers, and mentors? Coaches, trainers, and mentors. So teacher will teach you what you need to do, what you need to learn. A coach will teach you how what you want to do, you do it better, right? A mentor, listen carefully. A mentor teaches you things, how to do things you didn't know you could do. Isn't fear a mentor? Isn't fear the mentor that 98% of the population listen to? If they're struggling in their income, if they struggle in their income, fear is their mentor teaching them how to avoid their great. That's all fear is doing, teaching you how to avoid your greatness. It sounds rational. It sounds adult. It sounds responsible. Doesn't fear sound responsible? So you should avoid that. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a loop of self-preservation. Fear is a loop of self-preservation disguised as wisdom. You're not avoiding failure. You're avoiding identity death. Fear keeps me from dying. Right? Doesn't fear keep you from dying? Fear keeps you from doing stupid stuff. Fear, it should keep you from doing stupid stuff. Not like here, folks that I've grown up with and worked with. Here, hold my beer. Right? You know something stupid's about to happen. You're not avoiding failure. Fear keeps you from avoiding identity death. I've been speaking about identity for the last 2 decades. Because when you start moving towards your DMP means you're abandoning the version of you that has mastered this survival. Do you realize if you're more than a couple of years old, if you're 5 years old, 8 years old, you've mastered the survival fear instinct? How many of you did things when you were little to keep your parents from getting upset? Think about it. Think about it. How many of us do how many when you're yelling at your dog, they put their head down, they wag their tail, they're trying to avoid something. We have become masters, mega masters of how to survive fear. Bonus, bonus, bonus. And then somebody like me comes along and says, need to push through it. Are you kidding? You need to write your goals down. No way. It's not because you're afraid of writing down your goals or pushing through it. It's afraid of you're going to die. Your identity is going to die. Survival doesn't want to retire easily. Today, we begin decoding the internal fear script. We translate it into signal. We stop letting old vocabulary dictate new vision. Write this down. New vocabulary equals new vision. Old vocabulary, old vision. New vocabulary equals new vision. How many of you drive a car with steel wheels on it? Remember when they had, all of the tractors had steel wheels? How many of you have changed spare tires? They used to have 3 and 4 spare tires on the car because the rubber on the car's tires were terrible, horrible. They blow a tire all the time. They drive at night because the roads were too hot. Old ideas don't get you new vision. Old vocabulary, old auto suggestion doesn't give you new vision. So, where does fear reside? I don't know how to spell it, so I'm not going to ask you how to spell it. Fear resides where? In the amygdala, that little almond, the little itty bitty almond thing that is the freaking fire alarm, the security system, the you name it. And it is on constant alert. It is continuously nexting your environment. 20 million bits of data are floating into your brain, into your body, you're absorbing 20 bits of data. 20 bits of data. I'm sorry, 20 million bits of data, 20 million bits of data. 20 be a lot per second. 20 million bits of data per second. Your eyes pick up 2 million bits per eye. That's 4 million right there. All for the amygdala to be on constant search for the thing that's going to kill you. You ever been in a restaurant and the plates crash, somebody drops a tray of glass and you're like, hoo-ha, and then everybody claps? You've never been in that place before. You don't know what their dishes sound like when they fall, but you can sure make an assumption. Old vocabulary equals old vision. Those are dishes crashing, somebody's dishes, and they could be, and your body's jumps. Somebody scares you, boogity, 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 boo, and you jump. That's in your body, not in your brain. Your body responds faster than your cognitive ability. According to Ledoux's model, these emotional memories create shortcut reactions, often tied to past pain. Listen carefully. Past pain, not current threat. That's a huge, let me say it again. Let me see if I can get this across. Let me see if I can explain it with the gravity that it has. Fear reactions are stored in our amygdala, bypassing all thought, bypassing rational thought. Fear happens in our amygdala. That's why it shuts down the prefrontal cortex. When you get scared, when your amygdala gets activated, if you've ever owed some people some money and the phone rings and you're like, ooh, or you see it on your caller ID and you're like, oof, you just activated your amygdala and you become 25% less smart. So Ledoux said that the emotional memories create shortcut reactions, often tied to past pain, not current threat. Do you realize you're setting up yourself for threat? Going after your goals, setting your DMP, doing actions you've never done before, doing them consistently like you've never done them before, doing them more often than you've ever done them before, doing them in a way you've never done them before, doing following up in ways you've never done before, receiving business like you've never received before, receiving income like you've never received before. Those are a threat. Oh man, give me all the threats you have. We say that. Oh, if I had to spend $1 million, that would be a threat to your nervous system. Well, I could spend $1 million a day. You probably could. But at some point, you're not strong enough to keep spending it. Remember Brewster's Millions had to spend $1 million a day, spend $30 million in 30 days without getting a return. My point is this: where we are going is a threat to who we are. That's not painful. We haven't experienced it yet. Yet your emotional memories create reactions that are tied to past pain, not the current threat that's coming. We subliminally, we metaphorically take that past pain of a breakup and we add it to the threat of they were late for dinner. This new person I'm dating, they were late for dinner. They're just like everybody else. No, they're not, until we hear the rest of the story. That's why fear often feels true, even when it's not real. Y'all getting this? Y'all feeling this? Fear feels true, even when it's not real. So today's prompts are about breaking the shortcut and rebuilding trust with clarity. You ready for them? So here's our prompts. Got your pens ready? Let me share this screen with you. Unless you don't want me to share. You want me to share? Type share in the chat if you'd like me to share the prompts, or I can just read them. What are the, oh, okay. Let me get over here. Let me share this screen. Is this good stuff? Drop a G in the chat if this is some good stuff. There it is. Okay, here we go. What are the 3 reasonable fears that have shaped my past decisions? Now, this, again, took a screenshot. You got to go back and work on these. We have in a mastermind chat, we have in a community chat, somebody shared their notes. And I got to tell you, their notes are awesome. I hear things differently when I read your notes than when I'm doing the teaching and training now. So notes are possible. I would encourage you, please go back and look at these. What are three reasonable fears that have shaped my past decisions? What's one right now that you could think of? Addiction to approval? Maybe. Rejection, fear of being rejected, fear of getting no, fear of feeling like a failure. What fear phrases does my mind usually want to expand? What fear phrases does my mind use to actually mean I'm about to expand? When you're about to expand, what are the fear phrases? Oh, let me just get one more thing. Is there, what's your hesitation? When you're about to expand, what are the phrases fear shows up with? It doesn't say, hi, I'm fear, you're going to get stuck. It says, let's be reasonable. Maybe do you say, I need more knowledge? I wonder what they're going to think. I've got 40 years experience. What do I need to do this again for? Just telling you a couple of mine. When fear shows up in my body, what does it want me to protect? When you get that knot in your stomach, when your chest feels heavy, when you get that pain in your neck, stress, tension, stress, right? A tension headache. What the hell is that? A tension headache? Are you kidding me? I need to know it all. Somebody type that. That's awesome. When fear shows up in your body, what does it want me to protect? Is it trying to protect your body? Or is it trying to protect the encoded frequency that's already in your body? It's wanting you to avoid expansion. What version of me am I protecting by not fully stepping into my DMP? Ooh. What version of me? The one that's successful, enjoying, creating massive residual income, building huge global organizations, freedom of do what you want, when you want, with who you want, where you want, for however long you want, freedom of income, time freedom to be in control. By protecting that, you're not being able to step into your DMP. What version of you are you protecting? What new story can I assign to the feeling I used to call fear? Now that one, let's spend a moment on that one. What new story, what new phrase, what new sentence could you use that when you feel fear coming on, you're going to call it, you're going to say, this is now my blank story. Type it in the chat. What's the story? What's the new feeling? What's this change that you're going to give this idea, this frequency, this thing called fear? What is it? You're not going to call it fear anymore. You're going to call it what? Now, you can call it something really mean. You can call it something really mean so that you get really serious about it. You're not going to say, oh, that's my old friend. I wouldn't call it that. I wouldn't say that's my old friend. Fear, that's my old friend. It's disastrous. Fear is killing my promises. That's what I'm feeling right now is me not keeping my promises. That's me dying on the day I die. There's 2 times we die. The day they bury us and put us in the ground, and the last day our name is ever spoken. What's the new story you can assign? What's the new story you can assign to the feeling I used to call fear? That's a big one. What's the first thing that pops into your mind? I'd love to hear it. My internet started to skip in and out. That's when great things are happening. That's when great things are happening. What new story can I? This is a big one. It's a big, big, big one. When I typed it, I went, woof. That's a training in and of itself. If fear was a teacher, what is it trying to tell me about my next move? If you had to go to your fear class and it knows what your next move is, what's it trying to teach you? What's it trying to teach you? What is it really trying to teach you? What are we fearful of? If we've set a goal and a desire and a want and a wish, what could we possibly be afraid of? Having more money, having more time freedom. What could we possibly be afraid of? Building and serving other people. How many of you, your products or services can help another human being? Drop an H in the chat. How many of you, your products or services, your skills, your talents, your abilities can help another human being? What is fearful about that? What is fearful about that? What is fear trying to tell you about your next move? That you have to have maybe a better story, a bigger story, a brighter story, a more powerful story? Because the facts are there. You can do more, be more, have more, achieve more. Here's your declaration. I do not silence fear. I translate it. I do not let fear decide. I decode and lead. I no longer perform alignment. I practice it. I do not silence fear. I translate it. I do not let fear decide. I decode and lead. I no longer perform. I no longer perform alignment. I practice it. It's good stuff, isn't it? Isn't that good stuff? VIP. Let's see if there's anything here I can share with you out of the VIP. Fear Translation Chamber. And again, this comes to you if you upgrade to the VIP. After today, it's going to go up to 147 because this is good stuff. This is just, it's good stuff. I'll share this with you. When I say my DMP out loud, my body feels what? What does your body feel? The part of me that flinches when I speak my truth is trying to do what? What is fear protecting me from that no longer needs protection? That's a big question. I'll leave you with that one in the VIP conversation. What is fear protecting me from that no longer needs protection? Okay. So now we're into the loop of safety versus signal, the loop of safety versus signal. Right? We're using fear's frequency, understanding fear is simply connected to past memories, not to future threat. And I choose the word threat because it's not easy to go do what we need to go do 10 posts a week, to follow up with 3 people a day for the next year. That's a threat to your time freedom, to your TikTok, to your Instagram. Let's understand that fear is connected to past bad memories, typically, not the future threat. So now we're going to talk about the loop of safety versus signal. This section is loop of safety versus signal. So let's name the truth most avoided. Your nervous system doesn't choose what's right. It chooses what's familiar. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to say it's familiar. We don't want to say it's who we are. Your nervous system doesn't choose what's right. It chooses what's familiar. Take a big stretch. Feel that. Expand yourself. Your nervous system doesn't choose what's right. It chooses what's familiar. According to Stephen Porges, polyvagal theory, it's called the Porges' polyvagal theory, Polyvagal theory. Your system constantly scans for safety, not success, until you reprogram it, until your auto-suggestion reprograms it, until your gratitude blessings reprogram it, till your daily affirmations reprogram it, till you writing your DMP reprograms it. Your nervous system is looking for safety, not success. It's why you struggle. It's why you get frustrated and aggravated. And I've been doing this for 12 months and nothing's changed. You need longer. You've been programmed harder. You've been programmed stronger to avoid success. You've been programmed for safety. So when you move toward your DMP, even if it's your highest calling, your body might reject it. Your body damn well will reject it because it doesn't what? It doesn't recognize it. As you move toward your DMP, as you show up today, there's people who didn't show up today who showed up yesterday. Well, I'm busy. And they're not busy. I mean, they didn't have an emergency. They just, it's boring. It's a threat to who they are. It's why you don't show up. It's why you leave. It's why you don't come back, because I'm threatening who you are. You are threatening who you are, and you're blaming it on me so you don't show up to my world. Okay. So when you move towards your DMP, even if it's your highest calling, your body's going to reject it. Not might reject it. It will reject it because it doesn't recognize it. This creates the loop. You ready for the loop? You ready for the loop? Here's the loop. You dream big. You move toward it. You feel resistance. You label the resistance as failure or misalignment. And you do what? What do? You retreat to safety. So here's the loop. You dream big. I'm going to dream big. I'm going to put down my dreams. I'm going to create $500,000 on or before December 26th, 2026. And I'm going to do the activities. I'm going to do my posting. I'm going to do my conversations. I'm going to do my daily calls. I'm going to do all of these things. And I start to move forward and I do my first vision. And I do my first event and I have my first challenge and I do my first thing. And oh my gosh, it's working. And I get my first client and I get my first customer and my business is starting to expand. It's starting to go internationally. And then the company does something. I feel a little resistance and there's some hang up and there's some lack of stuff. And then I label this geez, it failed again. Oh my gosh, this is stupid. Why did I do this? Why did I do this again? How many times have you ever said that? Drop an A in the chat. Why did I do this again? If you're going to be honest with yourself, drop an A in the chat if you've ever said, why am I doing this again? So what do? You retreat to safety. Because pain is in your memory. And your fear activates your memory to bring up the pain so that you tie it to the threat of you becoming bigger, of you dreaming bigger, of you achieving your success. It is a whacked out. It is unfair. It is all psychologically proven, and you can have a conversation of it, but nobody wants to have that conversation with you because it's boring. It's boring to understand all this. Yet when you understand this, you can make decisions like that. When you become totally familiar with fear and you call fear the new thing, you call fear that thing that what's your new story around fear? When you feel resistance, when you feel delay, what's your new story? Wow, you little son of a gun, you're there everywhere. You're like my bestest, worst friend. You label resistance as failure and misalignment, and you retreat to safety. But it wasn't misalignment. Listen carefully. Write this word down. Untrained familiarity. Untrained familiarity. Familiarity. Because I wouldn't know how to spell it. I know how to do untrained. It wasn't misalignment. It wasn't failure. You weren't familiar with it. You weren't trained for the unfamiliarity. You weren't trained for the new. You weren't trained for the new thing. So if it's unknown, it becomes a threat. Most people aren't stuck because they're unclear. They're stuck because clarity threatens the survival identity they've practiced for decades. Some of you aren't going to like me. Maybe it's already there. Most people are not stuck because they're unclear. They're stuck because clarity threatens the survival identity they've practiced for decades. Today, we break that loop. Raise your hand, say, I break the loop. I break the loop. And then pull it down and say, yes. Raise it. I break the loop. Pull it down and say, yes. I need you to move your body because there's some friction. I can feel it. I can hear it. The steps of the loop are: you dream big, you move toward it. My neck again. The loops in the, you dream big, you move toward it. You feel resistance. And as soon as we feel resistance, we label that resistance as failure or misalignment. And then we retreat to safety. And it wasn't misalignment. It was just untrained familiarity. So today we break the loop. We stop treating comfort as clarity. Comfort zone. Oh, this is my clarity zone. I got to get out of my comfort zone. No, you got to get clarity. And clarity is not in your comfort zone. We start retraining our system to recognize growth as safe, as a signal, as trustworthy. What if fear was the thing you needed to start to trust your next step? What? Dr. Freud to the lobby. Dr. Freud to the lobby. What if we started retraining our system to recognize growth as safe and as a signal that's trustworthy? What if fear became your trustworthy signal as it relates to your expansion of your capabilities and capacities? See, if you have a mastermind, you can step into that and say, okay, I'm feeling this. I think this is where I need to go. And if I go there, I don't see the downside. I don't see the pitfalls. I don't see the places. This is where you need a mentor, somebody who's been there, somebody who's been down the road. You don't need a coach. Oh, well, try it. Let me know how that works. That's not a good suggestion when you're building your legacy. Here's why it's important. If we understand that the system of growth is a signal that can be trustworthy, because the greatest decision in life might be the one that feels the most unfamiliar. What? The greatest decision of your life is going to be one that feels unfamiliar. And unless you know that's normal, you'll keep retreating just before the miracle. Drop an M in the chat if you've ever stopped before the miracle. Where's my keyboard? M. I'll go. I've stopped just before the miracle. Your DMP helps you get through, breaks through that wall of the miracle. And you realize, here's the thing. I can share this with you from experience. I can share you with this from coaching people in masterminds for the last 4 decades. I can show you this. I can tell you this, that the last wall you break through is thinner than a sheet of paper. And yet it stops everyone. The wall you are about to break through, the wall you are about to step through and crush and turn into rubble, isn't that big. It's why when you break through, you're like, that wasn't that hard. What the hell have I been waiting for? How many of that? Drop a W if you've ever had that. What have I been waiting for? That wasn't that hard. What have I been waiting for? That's what your DMP does. Oh, but I got to write it every day. How's this working for you? How's this working for you? How's this feeling working for you? How's this lack working for you? How's this frustration working for you? You've become comfortable with it. You've retreated back into this misery called I'm familiar with this. The greatest decision you're about to make is going to be unfamiliar. And that will seem absolutely crazy. And then you keep retreating back into safety. And it's just, I can promise you, it's just before the miracle. Roll your shoulders, shake yourself up a little bit. See, when your nervous system equates safety with familiarity, it begins to reject anything unknown. Anything unknown. When your nervous system begins to equate safety with familiarity, your old story, your old place, your comfort zone, it begins to reject at an unconscious, at a subconscious level, anything unknown, even your dream. That's why the same DMP that excites your soul, listen carefully, that's why the same DMP that may excite your soul drains your body. Some of you the last couple of days ago, oh my God, I'm so exhausted after being at these events. And this is day 3. Some of you are turning into zombies because your body is just whacked. Drop a B in the chat if your body just feels, it's like, man, no energy. It's, oh, I'm excited about this, but man, I am wiped. Pay attention. It's getting all B from all across the world. That's why the DMP that drives your soul will drain your body. It's not because you're off path. Listen carefully. Here's the key. Here's the secret. No fewer than 100 times has the success to been revealed. The secrets to success been revealed in this training. Watch. It's draining your body because you're crossing the boundary of identity. Your body never knew was safe. Oh God, I got the chills. Oh, I get fired up. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it about a dozen times. Your body is drained because you're crossing the boundary identity. You're crossing into this new place that your body never knew was safe. So it's resisting. It's going to make you sick. It gives you constipation. It gives you indigestion. It makes your neck hurt. It does all of these things because you haven't said the unknown is safe. I am in a safe space. I have a vision. I have a clarity. I am a miracle from God. I'm going to do what it takes, and I'm going to do what's right, and I'm going to do it in this lifetime. And that's a safe place for me to be. You can drop little fire emojis. I'm getting fired up. I love this. I'd ask you to love it as well. We're crossing because your body does, oh man, I've got it logically. I'm ready. I got it down. I got the things. I got the pages. I got the check. I did what I'm going to do in my body and in my finances and in my society and in my family. I'm going to take care of it. I understand that balance. I'm never going to be in balance. I'm going to be present. Balance equals present. You can be balanced when you're present with the ones that you love. When you're not with them, they don't care if you're not with them, but be doing something when you're not with them so that when you're with them, be balanced. Don't be on your phone. Don't be worrying about society. I was the worst in the beginning of network marketing. I would do the event and I would do the presentation and I would be the main speaker and people would come up to me afterwards and go, oh my God, that's so amazing. And I would sit there and I would help them. And Michelle would be in the back of the room going, thing ended at 8. It's 10 o'clock. I was whacked out of balance for my bride. I wasn't present. I needed such recognition. I needed such attaboys. I needed the cats to pet me. I was so needy because I didn't have my own way to fill myself up. I doubt anybody ever knows what that feeling is. The reason that you get tired, the reason that it feels like it's draining every gosh darn ounce out of you is because you're crossing the boundary. Write down, I'm crossing the boundary. I'm crossing the boundary of identity into your body to what you never knew was safe. Here's some prompts. You ready for some prompts? These prompts help you retrain what safe means. Not by force, not by force, by awareness. Let's see here. Y'all ready? Share, share, share. What is my nervous system? Listen, so here's 6 questions. We just had 6 questions. Let's say there's 6 questions per. That's 18 questions per. This is the 3rd one. So that's 70 plus questions. I would encourage you, man, if you took a day and answered these questions, and then once you got the answers to them, because here's the thing, once you get the answers to these unknown, what are you going to do with them? You still have the resistance of the old story. You've got new knowledge. You haven't figured out how to address the threat. And that's what I teach you in the mastermind, is how to address the threats of all of this new knowledge. So you answer the question, what is my nervous system accepted as safe that no longer serves my future? You can get an answer to that. You can get a logical answer to that. You can get an absolute 100% bulletproof answer. The question is how do you rewrite your nervous system? Can you do it? Yes. Do you want it to take 12 years, 14 years, 15 years to do? I don't know. Maybe. With working with me, still going to take 18 months. What? Yeah, we have to rewire your body. You have been programmed so hard, so fast, so strong, so emotionally charged that you'll get all the answers to these. It ain't going to change a damn thing. You now get better knowledge. You have to learn the how. I'm telling you the what. I'm being as clear as I can. Telling you the what. I'm telling you the when. I'm telling you the why. What you don't get here is the how. Because that's customized. That's one-on-one. That's you personally. Your how is different than their how. I can't teach global how. I can teach global what, I can teach global when and global why. I can't teach global how. That's part of the mastermind. What action, if repeated daily, would feel safer over time? Simple question, big answer. What emotional state do I retreat to when things get unfamiliar? Right after that question, number 3, so right somewhere around number 3, DMN. DMN. Some of you know what that means. Default mode network, DMN. What would it look like to label growth as safe in my language? What? What would it look like to label growth as safe in my language? If signal meant safety, what would I change about the way I move? If signal meant safety, what would I change about the way I move, the actions I take, the feelings I take? And what belief must be released for signal to become a new baseline? What beliefs? These are big questions. This is $10,000 training, because it's, in order to get better answers, you got to ask better questions. And these are better questions than probably, maybe there's a chance you've ever asked yourself before. Here's the declaration. I no longer follow safety into silence. That's where safety's taking you, back to the old, back to the past, back to silence, back to familiar. I no longer follow safety into silence. I train my system to recognize expansion as home. My signal is strong, and it's safe to lead with it. I no longer follow safety into silence. I train my system to recognize expansion as home. My signal is strong. It is safe to lead with it. Desire is divine. Good stuff. Where are we at? Oh, we're an hour in. Okay, so let's do this. What's next? Okay. So we're going into the workbook next, the conversation. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. Questions, comments, thoughts. Anybody have a big aha they want to share? Drop a T in the chat and I'll unmute you. If anybody's got one. What's your biggest aha so far? And yeah. There might be a little delay, maybe not. Better watch your blood pressure. Yeah, well, it's all part of it. 5-minute timer, 5-minute timer. 5 minutes good enough? 5 minutes good enough for y'all? Okay. So let's go with it. Share 5-minute timer. We'll see you back here in 5 minutes. Love you tons. Back here in 5 minutes. Don't hesitate. Go get some water, take a big stretch. If your bowels need clear because the crap is coming out of you, go do that too. We'll be back here in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. right. We're coming back. What, 20 seconds? So, is that thing going to go off? Okay, we'll stop it. There we go. How y'all doing? Y'all doing okay? Y'all back? It's good to see everybody here. Yeah. Big stuff, isn't it? Big stuff. So, questions, comments, thought. Everybody okay? Anybody got a question, thought, want to share anything? Any ahas happened to you on the break? Just checking. Just checking. All right, let's dive in. So now we're going into fear as a frequency. We're doing the teaching part, and this is part 3 of it, talking about how we move this forward. Okay. So let's shift the lens one more time. Let's shift the lens one more time. You've learned fear isn't logic. It's what? Anybody type it in the chat? Fear isn't logic. It's what? Fear isn't logic. It's memory. Exactly. It's memory. Fear isn't logic. It's memory. You've learned what feels safe isn't always aligned, right? What feels safe isn't aligned with where you're going. It's aligned with the memory of how to stay safe. Ready for the big one? Ready for the big one? Drop a B in the chat if you're ready for the big one. Okay, here we go. Fear is an emotion. Listen carefully. Fear, write this down. Fear isn't an emotion. It's a broadcast. Wait, what? Fear? Well, how do they know dogs smell fear? That's not an emotion. Dogs cannot smell emotion. You broadcast something into the air, into a frequency. Every thought you have sends an electromagnetic frequency, an emotion, an energy and motion. It carries a signal. Well, their sixth sense still has to pick up on some frequency, some vibration in the universe. They just don't pick up something out of nothing. Sixth sense means, right? We learned in Think and Grow Rich, sixth sense is that ability to acquire and access to the vibration that exists in the universe. We call it a sixth sense because it's not one of our 5 senses. So an emotion is energy in motion. It carries a signal. Fear isn't just an emotion. It's not an emotion. It is a signal. According to the HeartMath Lab, what do I know about the HeartMath Lab? I've been using their technology for the last decade. The HeartMath Lab Institute, emotions like fear, according to the HeartMath Institute, emotions like fear, anxiety, and frustration create chaotic heart rhythms, right? Heart coherence, if you've ever heard about that, if you've ever done brain and heart studies. The HeartMath Institute says emotions like fear, anxiety, and frustration cause chaotic heart rhythms, disorganized frequency fields that affect decision-making, that affect your health, even in ways others perceive you. Let me say that again. This is important. This is why when you show up to a presentation with somebody, even on a Zoom, and they become negative, they become resistant, they become reluctant, they don't get back with you, they don't say what they're going to do, is because they didn't like being around you. I know, I've had it happen to me. Because I was trying to get my point across without hearing their point. This is tough. This is tough to hear. It's important to understand. The HeartMath Institute says that emotions like fear, anxiety, frustration create a chaotic heart rhythm. And this disorganized frequency affects your decision-making. This chaotic heart rhythm, this disorganized frequency affects your health. It even affects the way others perceive you. Why does this matter? Why does it matter? Because your DMP doesn't live in your goals. It lives in your emission. Listen carefully. It doesn't live in your goals. It lives in your emissions. What are emissions? When we talk about power plants, they talk about the things they pump out of the stacks, the emissions. It's what you give off. Your DMP doesn't live in your goals. It lives in your emissions. What you give off, the frequency you give off, the vibration you give off, the smell you give off. It lives in the field you broadcast when no one's looking. No fewer than 100 times has the secret to success been revealed in this training. Here's one of them. Your DMP doesn't live in your goals. It doesn't live on your paper. It doesn't live in your books. It doesn't live in your journal. It doesn't live anywhere. It lives in your emissions. It lives in what you give out. And if you don't do your DMP, you're going to have this emission that is lacking and waning and wishing and wondering and hoping. And how's that going to work with your prospect? They want you to have a vision. They want you to have clarity. They need you to have a vision. They need you to have clarity. And you won't do your DMP. Maybe you will. Maybe after this you will. Because it doesn't live in your books. You can't say, oh, I got my goals. It lives in your emission, the field you broadcast. So here's the question. What frequency do you transmit when you walk into a room? Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Here's another secret. What frequency do you transmit when you walk into a room? Here's the secret. Because you can't outwork your frequency. Just going to let that truth bomb sit there for a moment. You can't outwork your frequency. You can't build my brand. Here's my brand over insecurity. You can't brand who you are over the broadcast of insecurity. Somebody get the doctor. That one left a mark. That one left a mark. You cannot brand over insecurity. You can't affirm, you can't do affirmations, you can't affirm your way past an unregulated nervous system. Why don't anybody else teach this? Because they don't want to make you responsible. They want to make you needy. They don't want to make you responsible. See, you learn this, you become responsible. Your ability to respond. You cannot affirm your way past an unregulated nervous system. So today's work is about becoming congruent. It's about aligning what you say with what your system is ready to receive. Past an unregulated nervous system. If you're anxious and anxiety and you're nervous, that's why people who get up, I'm a professional speaker. I'm a professionally paid public speaker. I've stood on stage in 30 plus countries. Oh, I still get nervous, but what's the difference between, I don't know who said it, maybe Mark Twain, it would seem like something he would say, between a professional speaker and a non-professional speaker. We both get butterflies. Professionals teach the butterflies how to fly in formation. We still get them. We don't have an unregulated nervous system. That's why most people fear public speaking. That's why most people fear their DMP, because it unregulates your system because you don't have clarity. You're letting fear guide you back to your past memories of pain, and you're associating that pain with the threat of you becoming something new. Oof. This is about aligning what you say you want with what your system is ready to receive. I want to be healthy. I want $1 million. I want a $200,000 income. Your system's not ready. Your nervous system ain't ready. Fear doesn't have to go away. it does need to be translated so the frequency can emit supports. So the frequency can emit supports the claim. Yeah, the DMP doesn't override the fear. It translates it into activity and actions. Fear becomes the thing going, oh, this is going to be new. What happens the second something fearful shows up in your life and you step through it? It's no longer fearful. How could it ever have been fearful? Where did it become fearful? If you get through it and it's not fearful, why is it not fearful anymore? Why does fear become excitement? Oh, I'm afraid of that roller coaster. I don't want to go on that roller coaster. Oh my God, I'm getting back in line. Drop an R if you like roller coasters, not super crazy ones, not the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But if you've ever been on a roller coaster and said, oh, I'm afraid, oh, I don't know if I want to go on that. Oh God, the last time I went on it, I threw up. Right. I don't want to go on that. But then you go on it. I don't know where it was. I don't know which theme park it was. It's the Hulk roller coaster. And it was a little bit of rain out, and Michelle didn't want to go. And it was just me and Michelle. We had gone to the theme park when we lived in Florida. We had annual passes, going to Disney World. And I went on that thing 20 times. Oh my God, it was just, I didn't grow up going on roller coasters, maybe because we couldn't afford it. I don't know, but I never got to really go on roller coasters. I went on that Hulk roller coaster time after I was afraid. I'm like, oh, but once you get there, what happens when fear all of a sudden becomes excitement? That's what your DMP does. Your DMP turns your fear into excitement and you are ready to go. Come on, Day. Come on, Day. I need 25 hours because I got more to do. Not because I'm behind, because I want to do more. I want to create more. I want to give more. Do you hear a little frequency difference when you got your DMP? So frequency science and somatic awareness. Here we go. Question so far. We good? Drop an F if you want me to go forward or something else. Drop an F if you want me to go forward. Any questions? Okay, good. Just want to make sure you're all there. The Heart Meth Institute research proves emotional states impact the coherence of your heart field. Fear fragments your coherence. A fragmented coherence leads to hesitation, second guessing, and DMP drift. These prompts help you locate. We're going into prompts again. These prompts help you locate your broadcast, where your broadcast is off, and brings you back into alignment. I'm going to share the screen with you in just a second, but I need you to hear these. I need you to focus. I don't need you to be copying and writing down. I need you to focus on one because you're writing down the other ones. You're doing a whole bunch of other stuff, and you're missing out on the intensity of each one of these. I can promise you 1%. These are statistics. 1% of you will go back and answer these questions. It is a must that I get you to understand these prompts so that you can understand how to regain your frequency, regain your coherence. What emotional frequency do I emit when I'm not performing? I need you to hear that. You don't need to write it down. I'll put up the things in just a second. You'll be able to screenshot it or write them down. I just forget about writing for just a second. Forget about writing. I need you to hear this. This is so very important. I don't want us to be distracted by being busy. This is the workbook to part 3, yes. This is the conversation for part 3. What emotional frequency do I admit when I'm not performing? I need you to answer that. Don't write down the question. I'm going to screenshot the questions. You can write them down in just a second. I'll make sure you got plenty of time. This is important. I want you to feel in your body right now. I am attacking you. Your body is being attacked. Your nervous system is being attacked. Your old story is being attacked. Everything is under fire. Everything is under attack right now because you are tired of being here. You're even attacking it. You're saying, I'm done with this. So right now, when you think about when you are out of your performance, when you are not doing what you were meant to do, when you are not doing what you want to do, what emotional frequency do you transmit? What emotional frequency do you transmit? If you got the courage, type it in the chat. What's the frequency you transmit? Hopelessness. Man, what I listen, I give you the biggest hug in the world. I'd squish you, I'd squeeze you so tight because you are the last thing in the world is being hopeless. Uncertainty. I can promise you, raising your grandkids, there is a certainty and a love they know they can depend on. It's the most certain thing in their life. How is it that we can have these feelings of uncertainty and hopelessness? How? Where? That is such a lie. And I need you to just flat out call it. That is a lie. That is not who I am. Yes, it gets me emotional. Because I know that's not you. You were trained that. You were taught that. You were taught to believe that. I want you to have your DMP where that will never, never, never come back into your life. Woo. What do you think happens when you go to talk to somebody? And that's the frequency they're picking up on. Here's the next question. Where do I notice physical disruption when I need clarity? Think about this. Just let your body, don't be writing. I'm going to give you a chance to write them down. It's important. I know. I'll even copy these and put them in the chat so you can have them and view them. But I really want you to get this. I want you to feel it in your body. I need you to just close your eyes if you're in a safe space. Where do I notice physical disruption when I get near clarity? When you get near clarity, when you get near to focus, what happens? Somebody who's a dear friend, Danny, when she was getting near her clarity at one moment, she kept spilling coffee. For 2 weeks, she would spill coffee in her car every day. She'd spill coffee in her car every day. This physical disruption. What is this physical disruption? Do you get sick? Does your body? There was another dear friend who lived in Texas. She would get constipated. I mean, serious levels of just body locking down. And it was horrible. It would change everything about what she was doing. She couldn't take care of herself. She couldn't do the things necessary. She had to lay on the floor. Where do you notice physical disruption when you get near clarity? Back pain. Somebody said back pain. Again, if you want to type them in the chat, type it. It's just stop working. I get a cold or sinus infection. Do you see what's happening in your body? This is what's called neuroencoding, ladies and gentlemen. You have a thought, you're going for your thing. It's your body sees it as a threat. It remembers pain and it says, oh, here's how I keep you from that threat. Here's how I keep you safe. Get a headache. How the heck is that possible? It's because it's a program you've run to stay safe. The headache is safer than the threat of what's coming. The back pain is safer than the threat of what's coming. Oof. Listen carefully. Here's the next question. Again, I'm going to show you the questions. You'll have plenty of time to write them. We'll do some live conversation to give you a chance to write them out. Here's the next question. What belief is embedded inside my current broadcast? What belief is embedded inside my current broadcast? When you look at what you're doing, when you look at where you're currently acting and where you're not right now, not this second, maybe when you're talking to somebody, when you're having a conversation, what belief is embedded in your current broadcast? I love you for saying that. Not good enough, unworthy. I love you for the courage to share that. Not going to say your name. Nobody else can see it. I'm not that I am not worthy. I'm unworthy. Do you hear everybody's saying unworthy? Where did you read this book? I'm serious. I'm asking you. I know it's kind of a silly question. Where did you all read the same book that everybody's unworthy? I will say this, the ones who have typed so far are female. That is not uncommon. That is not uncommon. That is such a, whenever you do something for yourself, you're called selfish. Share your toys, share your vision. You're a mom, you're a woman. You need to be nice. You need to take care of people. No, what is the feeling that you broadcast? What is the belief inside of your broadcast? And maybe that's what you're expressing, that they're lying. Well, guess what? Then they have to lie. Yeah, that's your belief. I get it. Okay, I heard it. When I heard it again in my head, I heard it, that they're lying. That's a broadcast belief. And guess what? They have to confirm to your belief. It's so counterintuitive when we understand this. So how does my DMP fix all of this? You're not worried about, your belief is shifted. Your belief is saying, I'm here to serve, I'm here to grow, and I'm going to do it with or without you. Either way is fine with me. Let me ask you this. Here's the fourth question. What frequency do I want people to feel when I speak? I love you too, Lori. Thank you. What frequency do I want people to feel when I speak? Now imagine that. Imagine that. What happens if peacefulness shows up in all that you do? Do you realize you can go do tough things in peacefulness? If peacefulness is what you want, if compassion and sharing and safe is what you want, listen carefully. I really need you. I need you to stop writing and taking notes. I need you to just close your eyes and breathe for just a second. I need you to clear your vagus nerve, roll your shoulders. I need you to get back into your body and not this ethereal kind of thing. Just take a big breath and clear the vagus nerve with the loud make it loud, not do it loud and wake the neighbors up. Listen carefully. Listen, please. I hope I do a good enough job getting this across. If you can close your eyes, you can look me directly in the eye. If your goal is peacefulness, if your goal is desire, if your goal is worthy of more, if your goal is compassion and caring, listen, if that's the frequency you are going to choose to emanate, that is going to be in the emissions of your frequency. Listen carefully. Here's the nuclear bomb. If peaceful, caring, worthiness, supportive, if that's in the frequency you want out, how can fear ever come in? Wait, say that again. If your frequency is love, is peacefulness, is desire, is wanting to serve, is caring for others, when the F does fear show up? When you stop being peaceful, fear pops right in. When you stop caring for others, fear pops in. When you stop feeling worthy, fear comes. When you stop making them feel worthy, fear shows up. Fear is always right there. See, this is why we have to translate it. And fear is always ready for the threat. The threat of, well, what if they don't like what I'm about to say? If you're in peacefulness and caring, they're not part of your tribe. Shake it off. That's huge. That's huge. You realize that fear no longer has a place and a space for you. You can now translate fear. You can now speak fear. You can go, wow, you kept me from being peaceful. You're keeping me from being worthy. You're keeping me from caring. Now, here we go. I'm going to pop up this. We got two more questions I need you to pay attention to. I need you to sink in with. What breath or phrase instantly brings you back into signal? If Your frequency, you want people to hear when you speak, the frequency you want to admit. And if what belief is embedded in your current broadcast and you want to change that, you want to adjust that, and you start to wave off signal and you start to go off signal, you start to hear the static like you're driving away from the radio range. What breath or phrase instantly brings you back into signal? Maybe it's a breath. Maybe it's a breath. You heard me talking on the morning call with Michael. It's a thing. He snaps his fingers. Brings you back into signal. Right now, what's going to bring you back into that signal of caring, of sharing, of peacefulness? What is it? Type it in the chat. I'll say them out so that other people get idea. Ooh, that would be good. Ooh, I like that. I have some pictures that run through my head. I have some things that I carry around, right? Some of you have been around for a long time. These are stones that I carry. This is gratitude on it. This is my gratitude stone. But these stones, box breathing. Somebody just typed box breathing. These came out of a river in behind a dear friend's house in Slovenia, and their kids gave them to me. Alec and Alexandra gave me these stones. She's now 23, 24, 23. They gave me those stones when they were 5 and 4 years old, 5 and 3 years old. Those are mine. I carry those with me. They're in my desk. I carry them. I make sure I don't lose them. They're here. What phrase or breath? Crystals. Awesome. Box breathing. My family's love. Be in state. Got to get right back. You got to know you got to use it. Here's number 6. What happens when I treat my frequency as a leadership tool? Write it down. What happens when I treat my frequency as a leadership tool? Not as a self-righteous thing, not as a I deserve more, not as a tool, like a fork, like a knife, like a sledgehammer, like a feather. Type it in the chat. What happens when I treat my frequency like a leadership tool? Okay, here's the questions. I'm going to share them for you to write them down now. This good stuff is good stuff. This is day 3. This is good stuff. Do you see now why maybe, possibly, it's when you write goals down, they don't necessarily always come true. There you go. Grace, clarity, love. Yes. See, people ask me all the time, Sean, how are you? Outstanding. See, that's my leadership tool. It's such a given. It is such a continuous, everyday response, every moment response. Now people know it to ask it. They even know what the answer is going to be. How are you? Outstanding. People say, I love, some of the greatest compliments I get is when the mechanic at the local auto parts store says, I just love calling your message. I wish I could just call it and listen to it. I call it, listen, I don't answer the phone half the time anyways, and you can just leave a message saying, just listen to your message. I have people that will do that, will call and listen to my voicemail. And for those of you that don't know it, 469-834-9063, 469-834-9063. Call my cell phone. There's a good chance I ain't going to answer it. If I don't know, if it comes up unknown, or I'm working with the sheep, or I'm on my number one priority, my family, yeah, don't worry about bothering me. Drop a 2 in the chat if you need a little bit more time for the prompts. Going once, going twice. Okay, here's the declaration. My frequency is my responsibility. Oh, snap. I do not broadcast fear without my permission. Send signal, clean, congruent, and clear. I send signal, clean, congruent, and clear. My frequency is my responsibility. I do not broadcast fear without my permission. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. Katie barred the door. Y'all doing good? Welcome back. All right. So here's VIP. Anything in the VIP? Fear isn't rational. If fear isn't internal, you can write this down. It's rational. It's not internal. It's rational. Let's see here. Here's some mirrors. Here's some mirror shares. I didn't realize until now that I've been emitting, right? I didn't realize until now that I've been emitting that fear, that unworthiness. Hey, listen, and it's okay in the next couple of days when you start having a conversation with somebody and you catch and you become, because now you're aware, you become aware of the signal, you become aware of the frequency. Oh my gosh, I'm emitting unworthiness. You can just stop and say, hang on, I got to take a breath. I don't know that I was fully present for you right now. And you got to have the courage to say this, because otherwise fear goes, ha, 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 she did all that work. You did all that work. He did all that work. What was the last one? The last one was I didn't realize until now that I've been emitting. I think that's what you might have been asking for. That was a mirror share. Look at yourself in the mirror and say that. All right. I think that's what you were looking for. Okay. We're already at the time. I got the script. I got the words. I got my notes. There's just so much to this. So this is part 4. This is part 4. The fear filter and the DMP. The fear filter and the DMP. I'm going to keep going. If you need to jump off, jump off. You can watch the recording. It's available for 24 hours. Actually, I think I did take down the first recording on YouTube. It's still available in school, though. That'll be up for a couple more days. Probably, maybe, unless I have Rhea take it down. Okay, so here's part 4. Part 4, teaching the fear filter and DMP. So we've decoded fear as a memory, a safety loop, a frequency. Now let's examine how fear becomes a lens, one that can distort even the clearest signal. Fear just doesn't delay action, it distorts perception. Write that down. Fear doesn't just delay action, it distorts perception. Fear doesn't just delay action, it distorts perception. It's why we throw goals away. It's why we throw our dreams away. It's why we say, well, I wanted $200,000. I'll go for 100,000. It distorts our perception. When you're in a fear state, your cognitive bandwidth shrinks. Listen, here's science. What's this called? Not a big forehead. What's this called? Called the prefrontal cortex, the PFC, private first class. The prefrontal cortex. This is where our executive decision making is. When the amygdala is triggered, it shuts down our cognitive ability. This part, it shuts down this part, the executive decision making, by 25%. You become stupid. Stupider. Dumber. Less smart. When you're in a fear state, your cognitive bandwidth shrinks. This means your DMP, no matter how aligned or how powerful, can look unworthy, overwhelming, or impossible. Drop a G in the chat if that's ever been used, some kind of place where you got to look for it on the keypad. If that's been you, you've had your DMP, you've had your clarity, you've had your vision, you've had your mission, and then you wrote it out and you did it and you had it and you wrote it and it just didn't seem, it still seemed unworthy and overwhelming and impossible because you haven't addressed fear. You haven't learned to speak it to fear. Why? Because your filter isn't clean. You're evaluating destiny through the lens of protection, not power. Ooh, snap. So if I was taking notes, I wouldn't write down that fear causes me to look through the lens of protection, not power. I would write, what is the lens of protection and what is the lens of power that I need to look through? Because I'm looking to, how do I teach this? How do I teach it to myself? How do I teach it to others? See, it's because our filter isn't clean. We're evaluating destiny. We're evaluating legacy through the lens of protection, not power. Everything I'm about to go do, everything I do, I'm asking myself, is this protection or is this power? Am I filtering it through protection or am I filtering it through power? So let's make this clearer. If you don't adjust the filter, write this down. If you don't adjust the filter, drop a 1 in the chat when you're ready for me to give you the nuclear bomb. Drop a 1 when you're ready. If you don't adjust the filter, let me know a couple more ones. I want to make sure you get this. Because this is what's going to change. This is going to change everything when you start talking to customers. See, you're about to help people do something they've never done, to have something they've never had, which means they got to think a way they've never thought and feel a way they never felt. And if you don't help adjust their filter, listen carefully. If you don't adjust the filter, you will misread the vision. And this is where drift silently re-enters. If you don't adjust the filter, you will misread the vision. This is where drift silently re-enters. Not with a bang, with a convincing explanation of why your purpose can wait. Somebody pass the fries, because that's some good chicken. That's some good picking. If you don't adjust the filter, you'll misread the vision. That's where drift silently re-enters. Not with a bang, with a convincing explanation of why your purpose can wait. Today's mission is to clean the filter. Listen, some of us change the filters in our air conditioners and in our cars and in our trucks and tractors more often than we ever change the filter we look through life. See, to distinguish between the version of your DMP shaped by fear and the one shaped by clarity. That's what we're going to clear, so that you can distinguish between the DMP shaped by fear and one shaped by clarity. Because your destiny hasn't changed. Your desire hasn't changed. Your want hasn't changed. Your arrival point hasn't changed. It's the filter you're using to look at it has. Y'all good? Big stuff. Need to shake your body a little bit. Get up and shake your booty. Do a little assitude, as Joseph McClendon would say. Do. Shake your booty in your chair. Shake your booty in your chair. Shake your booty in your chair. Laugh a little bit. Lighten yourself up, because this is attacking the heck out of you. Who's feeling, anybody feeling stress in their body? Anybody feeling some of that headache or the back pain coming on? Type it in the chat, just a Y of something in your body. Ooh, it's kind of like, ooh, wow, that pain came out of nowhere. Mine, it's a shoulder pain that came from centuries ago. Just nervous, kicking up. Yep, jaw. Okay, breathe. Hey, say, hey, fear, I love you. Touch it. Wherever it hurts, say, don't push hard on it. Don't try to massage it. Say, hey, fear, it's okay. I'm safe. Say it. You got to say this. I'm safe. Tightness in my shoulder. I'm safe. Feel that. I'm safe. I'm in my room. Nothing changed. I'm not being attacked. I might be attacking my old story, but tell it. Tell me if the fear goes away. Tell me if the discomfort goes away. I'm safe right now. My desire is destiny. My desire is destiny. My decision is destiny. I'm safe in this place. I am changing my filter. Feel it. Loosen it up. Say, I'm safe right here. I'm in love with me. I am choosing to serve peacefulness. Tightness in the shoulder, use the word peacefulness. That's not who you are, tightness in the shoulder. That's not who you are with a jaw that's in pain. That's not who you are with a back challenge. See, that's the signal. That's how your body gets the signal to admit fear to your conversation, to the person you're speaking to. Man, this is such neuroencoding. This is such NES, neuroenergetic self-sculpting. This is such brain talk. This is such your body, the cells in your body, the rewiring. It doesn't happen in 21 days. It doesn't happen in 21 weeks. It takes 18 months, 16, 14, 18 months. Breathe, breathe. My desire is destiny. My desire is divine. Say it. My desire is divine. My wanting is evolution. Say it. Feel it. Allow your body to step into its own vision. So here's the lens theory. Cognitive science confirms that emotions alters perceptions. How many of us think our thoughts can influence our day? Joe Dispenza says this all the time, usually at the opening of a lot of his conversations when he's doing introductory dialogues to people. How many of us, raise your hand if you believe your thoughts can influence your day? Go ahead, raise your hand. I know it works. How many of us woke up this morning to influence our day? See, fear narrows your field of possibility. Fear is the tunnel vision, not because reality has shifted, but because your internal aperture, right? Lens, your internal aperture has constricted. Fear narrows your field of possibility, not because your reality has shifted, but because your internal aperture, how you are looking at the situation. When you're in fear, do you have unlimited possibility? I had the card today. Where's that card? I was going through this in my notes. Here we go. Let me see if this is the right way. Yes. Okay. So here we go. Right? Many of you know this. So on a piece of paper, top right-hand corner, top left-hand corner, potential, write a P, type an A, underneath the P, put a B, and put an R underneath the A. Right? So you're seeing it here, potential. When you are in fear, how much potential do you have? Now, the answer is 100% potential. How much are you aware of? How much of the action, A stands for action, how much action can you take when you're in fear? Doesn't it limit your ability to have action? And then when you're in fear and you take action, what do you think the results are from a fearful based action process? And then once you get the results, right, you had potential, but you were fearful and you took fearful action. And then you took fearful action, which produced fearful results. What did that do to your belief? B stands for belief. What I'm doing here, what we're spending 3 days on, 4 days on, of intense belief in you. We're spending 4.5 hours. So far, we'll probably spend 5 hours, 6 hours. Follow me? What we're doing here is the only way I can interject, the only way I can help you is by right here. I can't help you with the potential. It's all available. I can't help you with the action. You're going to do what you're going to do. I can't help you with the results. It's going to be from what you do. The only thing I can help you with is to improve your belief. I can't teach you how to do better action. I can improve your belief so that you have better action, you have better results. This making sense? So here's the prompts. You ready for some more prompts? All right. 6 times 4 is 24. We have over 100 questions. Imagine if you took a day, took the next week to answer these questions. Yes, potential is always, oh, I love it. Somebody said, wow, potential is available even when you're in fear states. Yes. Even when you're fearful, you have 100% potential. It's just the aperture got real tiny. Your vision of what the world looks like, your vision of capability and capacity got real narrow, so you couldn't even see all of the potential. You go, all I can do is that. That's a brilliant, brilliant statement. Yeah, of course, potential is always. It's like saying, when does this is like the Irish. I'll use the Irish since I'm Irish, right? Sean Murphy. So I don't get any emails or DMs. A bunch of Irish scientists said they're going to go to the sun. And the Scot said to him, you know, the sun's hot as hell, don't you? They said, well, of course we do. Don't think we're stupid. We wouldn't be going, we'll be going to it at night when the sun's turned off, right? That's how stupid some of the Irish are. That's like saying, when I'm fearful, I got no potential. This is why Michelle, when she teaches her manifestation, even in a feared state, you have absolute high energy, high emotion, absolute 100% potential, access to the universe. Okay, let me share the screen. I don't think I shared it. Right, here's the prompts. Here's the prompts. Who wants some prompts? Drop a P in the chat. Who wants some prompts? Here's some prompts. Here we go. What part of my DMP have I minimized due to fear-based practicality? Oh, snap. This one's a dagger right to the heart. Maybe right next to it. We won't hit any vital organs, but it's as close as you want to get to killing yourself. What have I labeled impossible that only feels unsafe? What have I labeled as impossible that only feels unsafe? How does fear shape my interpretation of my opportunity? This one for all of you in sales, network marketing, in any place that you've got to have a conversation with somebody where your words carry weight to inspire them to an order, right? If you're in sales, how does my fear shape my interpretation of opportunity? How does your fear interpret the opportunity you're offering? Here's the more important one, right? Here's what I look at. How does fear interpret the opportunity that I'm offering? How does their fear interpret the opportunity for them? We're asking them to spend a bunch of money. It's not a bunch of money if they understood the return on investment, but they don't know the return on investment. How does fear shape my interpretation? How does fear shape their interpretation of the opportunity we're talking about? Doesn't matter what the opportunity is. Forex, trading, investing, wellness practices, you name it. Here's the big one. You ready for a big one? These are kicks in the pants. Where do I talk myself out of destiny? By calling it logic. You know, we got 2 more days of this. Take a big breath. Take a big breath. What signal does my DMP carry when viewed without fear? That's some good fried chicken right there. I'm going to talk myself into it. I'm going to see if I get Mason to bring me home some Popeyes. I don't know why. I got this fried chicken on my mind. Where do I talk myself out of? DoorDash. Yeah, there you go, AJ. But it's way too far. It's 30 miles away. It's not close, but yeah, who knows? They may drive all the way from Conway. You showed us what it does. Where do I talk myself out of destiny by calling it logic? What signal does my DMP carry when viewed without fear? And what would change if my language, what would change in my language if I cleaned my filter? Man, these are big. These are big questions. What's that phrase that I heard this in my head just now? Don't hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm just playing. I'm just showing you the rules here. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I don't even know if that makes sense to say it there. It just popped into my head. I've never said that phrase before. Don't hate the play, I hate the game. Oh. Here's the declaration. I clean the lens. I sharpen the signal. I see my DMP clearly, not through fear, but through truth. And we want a but there. You want a big but there. Whole thing just went through my head. I'm gonna save you the childlike conversation. I clean the lens. I sharpen my signal. I see my DMP clearly, not through fear, but through truth. I move accordingly. I move accordingly. Big stuff. Big stuff. Ready? So, VIP stuff 4. Let me see what I can share with you here. Where you the room, this room is where you sharpen the lens, where you stop asking, is this possible? And start asking, who would I need to become to make this real? Write that down. Instead of asking, is this possible? I now ask, who would I need to become to make this real? Who would I need to become? Write that down. Who would I need to become to make all this real? See, in neuropsychology, the RAS is what filters your attention and perception. And when you operate from fear, your RAS filters for that threat. When your prospect is sitting across from you and they're operating from fear, they come up with protection levers. We call them objections. I call them protections because you got to honor them and love their objection. So it's a protection level that I don't have money. That's what they filter for. They filter for money. I don't have time. They filter for time because they are in a threat, a level 10, code 4, level red, full on threat to who they are. And we say, well, you should do it. Okay. So if one room helped you, okay, so here's a signal. If this has helped you so far to clean your filter, imagine what a year of signal clarity, peer reflection, and weekly DMP refinement would do. That's what my mastermind offers, right? The signal anchored lens for every conversation, for every move, for every breakthrough. All right, here we go. Okay, so we're to the journal prompting. Those were all questions. Now we're going to do some prompting. I know we're long. I know we're long. I don't care. This is important. It's important that I don't try to make it, I don't shorten it so we can work on a clock because I'm in this for a lifetime, not a lunchtime. All right, so here we go. Here's this isn't a journal prompt. This is where you begin the calibration. This is where you set the signal. Okay. This is where the page becomes your witness. Think about that. You know, I talk about when you read the book, right? So here's my first copy of Think and Grow Rich that I had. It's a 1960 something. My dad gave me this book, and then I think it was Guinness. This is 1960, so 5 years before I was born. I think Guinness got a hold of it about a decade ago, about 2 decades ago. He got a hold of it. Anyways, when he was a puppy. So, my point is that this idea that we're about to prompt and change some things that are going on, this understanding. I say when you can read the book, it's when the book reads you. It's when the book starts to become the witness. Listen carefully. When you find the secret, when Napoleon Hill says in here, no fewer than 100 times is the secret to success been revealed in these pages. I'll hold this one up so I don't look like I'm homeless. The secret to success has been revealed in these pages. When you find it, when you see it, when you receive it, stop, turn down a drink, for your life will never be the same. It's the pages of the book then become the witness. The pages become watching you change. Does that make sense? Drop an S in the chat if that makes sense. When you read something, you, oh, I get it. Whatever is in your universe just became the witness. When we stop witnessing the books begin to witness us. Does that make sense? When you stop witnessing your DMP and your DMP begins to witness you and your shifts and your change, this is where the pages become your witness. This is where your keyboard becomes your truth mirror. And for once, you do not censor your signal. Dr. James Pennebaker on expressive writing confirms that naming suppressed emotions improves both emotional regulation and physical health. This is more than journaling. It's identity language. It's anchoring new emotional truth. James Pennebaker on expressive writing confirms that naming suppressed emotions improves both emotional regulation and physical health. So here's some prompts. These are prompts for you to think about. Each of these prompts is designed to activate signal over survival. Write that down. Signal over survival. Faith over fear. Signal over survival. Desire is destiny. Desire is divine. Signal over survival. So your nervous system starts to trust expansion as familiar. This is where you stop whispering truth and you write it with authority. Ah, this is so good. These are big. If I share them up front, drop a P in the chat if you promise to take some time and experience them. I'll share them. You can write them down. I need you to promise to experience them. Okay. I know that seems like I'm cheesy and I'm trying to, I know everybody who's here. I know everybody who's here. I really, this is so, if I could just help you grasp the gravity of you taking action on all of these questions, all of these prompts. I go back through each night and I answer the questions for myself, and I'm teaching it, and it rocks my world what I come up with. Because there's a big difference between being the teacher and the student. Shut up and share the screen. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Drop a smiley face if you're giggling. I'm getting there. Here we go. Good. I'm glad you have, Diane. The moment I first learned to silence my power was, and I can tell you this, mine was my mom. Mine was my mom. Absolutely. I was 5 years old. I was trying to walk down the hallway. My mom was in one of her drunken states. I never got abused. I've never been to therapy for any abuse. I don't think I ever got hit. I mean, she used to spank us, but I don't think I was ever abused. I don't think I was ever beaten. I got some beatings. I probably deserved them. I guess I deserved. Yeah, I could see where. So my point is that where I tried to sneak out of the house so I didn't have to rub her back, I didn't like the way she smelled with the liquor. Now, vodka doesn't have a smell. But usually when you're drinking, you don't necessarily take a shower every day. I don't know. Maybe because we didn't have air conditioning in the house and it was, I don't know. We didn't have ceiling fans. That wasn't a thing in the 70s. Houses didn't have ceiling fans in every room. At least ours didn't. We lived on a farm. We had a nice ranch house, 2-story ranch house. But my point was that I knew that as soon as my mom started to go into that state, and it happened every year, I knew to shut the hell up. That's when I first learned my power was silent. Fear taught me to say, I'm sorry, but my truth was I wasn't sorry. I didn't had nothing to do with it. I didn't know the awareness that I thought I caused my mother's drinking. I'm sure every kid does. I thought I thought I had done something bad. Fear taught me to say sorry. So every time I set a goal, every time I set a want, every time I set a wish, every time I said I wanted to speak on all across the world, people go, "That's stupid. You're oh, sorry, I made you upset." This making sense? Drop a one in the chat if this is making sense. I'm just sharing with you. This is us working together. I want you to understand the fact that I teach this is because I went through this. I go through this. I used to believe expansion meant danger because nobody knew where I was going. Nobody in my family has done what I've done. Nobody in the history, the generations of my family has done what I've done. Nobody's done what you've done. You may be similar. There may be some similarities. But see, I used to believe expansion meant danger because I made them uncomfortable. And if I made them uncomfortable, I was fearful, which taught me to say sorry. My truth was I wasn't sorry. And that's when I learned to be silent. See how this layers? And when you become vulnerable, when you become truthful, when you become gut-wrenching, frickety frack, no more lies to yourself, there's some freedom that comes with that. I'll just say it. Cover your ears if you're afraid of the F word. It's like the fuck off. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Number 4, my DMP lives in a version of me who loves without hesitation, cares without being caught up, creates for kindness. That's where my DMP lives. When I follow my signal instead of safety, I become unaffected. Unaffected. You can't upset me. You can't make me do something I don't give you permission to do. And when I stay in my signal, I become towards my dream. Is this an attraction or a distraction? When I follow my signal instead of safety, I become huge. I become unstoppable. I will no longer call being realistic. You could put fear in there. What's the thing you're doing? What's the thing you're doing right now? I will no longer call what? Scrolling, being realistic. Going to bed tired, waking up late, being realistic. When we take the breaks, I got to make a green energy drink. It's a lot on the brain on this side. I know it's a lot on that side too. Number 7, I am no longer available for the identity that needs recognition for delaying. Somebody typed in the chat. I told a significant person in my life about my monthly goal, and they about had a stroke. Yeah. We're playing too small because they can't play big enough. I'm no longer available for the identity that what? I reclaim the vision of me who once believed life is worth living. Life is worth experiencing. Goals are worth having. Dreams are worth getting. Right? When I stopped performing and started broadcasting signal, I feel what? Right now, just imagine you're not going anywhere, but you're just going to broadcast it. Broadcast it in the room you're currently in. Broadcast your DMP, broadcast your dream, broadcast your decision is divine. Your wanting is evolution. Broadcast this, that fear is, you are now looking for, you have the skills for the threat. There is no threat because you can adapt, you can adopt. I am ready for more. What is that signal? What is the vibration? Just sit with it. Big breath. What is peacefulness feel like? What is that signal? What is worthy? Say, I am worthy. Say it again. I am worthy. I am worthy of my signal. I am worthy of this signal. I am worthy of my signal. I am worthy of this signal. I am worthy of my signal. I increase my signal. I am worthy. This is a worthy signal. This is worthy of my time, worthy of my energy, worthy of my frequency, worthy of my want, worthy of my joy. This is worthy of my working, worthy of the sweat and tears, worthy of the desires, worthy of the smiles I see on those around me. I am worthy. When you stop performing and acting like you're rich, acting like you're this, right? Fake it till you make it. F that. F that. F it till you make it. Faith it till you make it. My new broadcast starting today is peacefulness, worthiness, joy, bliss, outstanding. What is your signal today, right now? Write it down. Confident and soar. What is your signal today? Today, my signal, my new broadcast is what? Type it in the chat if you dare. What is your new broadcast today? Everybody got all 10 of them? Authenticity and worthy. Authentic and worthy. I love it. So here's the declaration. Here's the declaration. Write this down. Say it. This is your mantra. My nervous system now recognizes clarity as safe. I am a transmitter of signal. I lead my body into congruence, not confusion. I don't just think alignment, I embody it. Yes, pass the plate. Give me another one. Can I get an amen from the back rows? Amen. My nervous system now recognizes clarity as safe. I am a transmitter of signal. I lead my body into congruence, not confusion. I don't just think alignment, I embody it. My nervous system now recognizes clarity as safe. I am a transmitter of signal. I lead my body into congruence, not confusion. Close that. There we go. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Ahas, takeaways. What'd you learn? What'd you like? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Beamish. Beamish is laying right behind my chair. Biggest takeaways. Anybody want to chat, talk, share your aha? Oh, take a big Stretch. I know how I feel. Diane, I saw you put your hand up. I'm going to allow you to talk. I'm not sure if you want to yet, but yes. There you go.
Hi, Sean.
Hey, Diane.
Yesterday we talked about the neurological rerouting,
Right.
and you talked about drift and desire and decision and purpose.
Yep.
And today took me to further that. And for me, like what your inner world and your outer goals, when it's aligned, that's when you start moving with purpose. And your subconscious mind finally agrees with your conscious mind. So that's how the commitment becomes more to become the best version.
So I'll share with you what was been shared with me. You're now realizing that nobody was keeping you from this but us. When we say, I'm my own biggest block,
Yeah,
that's true. Now you've got the fundamentals to work through that. And there's more coming.
I know. My gosh, I spent 2 hours last night and it was like, how you say your brain hurts. And then today, like I've got tons of notes here. My pages are filling up and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, can I take any more?
Well, see that. So pay attention. The one who asks, can I take it anymore, is not the one that knows what to do with it.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody, what she just said is significant. Oh my gosh, I don't know if my brain can take it anymore. The one who says that is not the one. That one doesn't know anything, what to do with any of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let the one who knows exactly what to do with it be excited. This is where people ask me, they go, how can you do that for 12 hours? When I go on my binges of rewiring, because I know what to do with it. I know what I want with it. I know my vision is big enough that it carries me into the unknown, and I wind up at the known and I go, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was possible. So I love it. I love it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You are so welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Somebody typed in the chat, I realized today how powerful my fear has sidetracked me towards my goals. I never thought of this. I never thought of it this way. That's significant. This person isn't 4 years old. This isn't an awareness. Oh my gosh, I'm 4. I just realized how much fear's played into my life. They're a couple of days older than 4 years old. All of us. When you start to just change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This is what Wallace D. Waddell says. It's not about doing certain things. This isn't about goal setting. I said from the very beginning, this isn't a goal setting seminar. This is about changing the way we do things. It's not about doing certain things, it's about doing things in a certain way. And what we're doing is we're looking at your dream, your goal in a certain way that allows you to realize, the hell have I been fearful of? What have I been programmed for? It's kind of cuckoo for craziness. Now, for anybody that wrote down their goals, I think it was on day one, I said, write down your goal. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't remember. Write down your goal, then double it. With the awareness, with the signal that you have right now, I need you to be as clear and honest to yourself, and I need you to feel this in your body. With the signal that you set, with the clarity that you set, with the focus that you set, with the number that the dollar figure that you set, with this frequency that you currently have running through your body right now, drop a P if it's possible or an I impossible. Do you believe it more? Is it even more possible now than you thought 2 days ago? Exactly. Multiple P's. PPP, PPP. It's like, I got to go to the bathroom because now you make I go pee. If that's the case, then you truly understand. You're grasping the fact that $1 or $100 or $1,000 or $1,000,000 or $10 million for the universe is nothing. Nothing. The only thing that limits that is our ability to speak fear. You go to a foreign country, I promise you, you'll learn how to eat something. even if you don't speak the language. You may go hungry. You won't go hungry long. You will break out of fear because you're hungry. What did Les Brown go? You got to be hungry. I want you to be hungry enough that your purpose has permission. And when your purpose has permission, you learn to speak fear, and you realize it's, do you have the skills and talents to deal with any unknowns, threats, not past performance, any unknown threats, that soon as you step through that veneer, that sheet of paper, that wall that you're trying to get through, that's as thick as a sheet of paper, right? You're like, oh my God, oh my God, this is so much fun now. In that moment, that's the moment I wish for you. In that moment, life will change forever. Anyone else? Questions, comments, thoughts, takeaways? Anyone else? Raise your hand. Any thoughts, any comments? And that's okay. Don't have to. There's a lot going on. Your brain. I love your brain. Kisses to your brain. You're so welcome. Tomorrow, we're going to do the same thing. Same bat time, same bat channel. 11 o'clock. What time is it? It's now, oh my gosh, it's 1:30. We went 2.5 hours. I promise. I say 90 minutes. I hope you're okay with that. It's not that I promised 90 minutes. I'm like, I knew it was 2 hours. We get into it. I feel your frequency. Anyway, so I hope you're okay with that. Recording will be up. This is on YouTube. Yes. And I've got the recording. So there you go. For those that are the VIP that didn't get a chance to be here today, they will get a copy of the link and go from there. So I love you tons. I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling misfit. Understanding frequency as a fear. It's a guidepost, not a blocking wall. I'll see y'all where? At the next event. All right, everybody. Go have some fun. I appreciate you. Love you tons. Take a big breath. Go walk around. The best thing you could do right now is to leave the book there, get up, walk around a little bit, and just say, I'm awake. I'm alive. I'm winning. And just let that settle in. Let this new vibration settle in. Move around. Physiology, focus, language, and meaning. Right now, we've got focus, language, and meaning. We don't have the physiology. Get up, move your booty, do your attitude from Joseph McClendon III. Get up, put your song on, and go, this is amazing. Hold the book up. Let it subliminally, let it, what do they call that? Osmosis, flood into your soul. I love you tons. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. And if you want to join us in the morning, you can join us in the morning, 6 a.m. We'll be talking about the 6 ghosts of fear inside of Think and Grow Rich. Love you tons. Bye.